Alright, anyway, so back to the conversation before I was interrupted by cop sounds of a siren. I think it was an ambulance. But anyway, the interesting part of it is how all this developed here is illegal. They were told that, Reagan was told that, Reagan told the politicians from the representatives and representatives to Congress, including the Senate, the lobbyists, that they're illegal, and that they aren't allowed to actually practice law here. If you want to practice law, you got to go to Europe, and then you'll learn what the real law is. So you may ask why it's done that way. Well, South America had to, Canada had to, and anyone here that takes up a law will get in trouble. And the one reason is because it was either Henry or Louis brought a bunch of people here who were what they call Parliament, and they got slaughtered. And someone claimed in history that this king kept doing this. He kept bringing people here, and if you were part of Parliament, you would get slaughtered, because Parliament's not part of government. And it's also seen as treason. It's a Traitors Act, as well as they also claim that they were misusing by massacration. And massacration's against the law. A judge cannot use massacration. There is no laws that protect the judge. There's no laws that protect the lobbyists to the Congress. There's no laws that protect the president. And such a how they want to dictate things. They're not dictators, they're not leaders, they're not furriers, which a furrier is actually a different type of life form. But the interesting part of it is as into reading some of this, what was written, that they claim they found this artifact, this book, which most of it's BS. Most of it was found unfactual. Considering all these areas that they say they explored has already been explored. Anything relevant or factual would have been removed or gathered up by the time of their death. So any new finds aren't really new finds. So you ask yourself this question: is all these stories they're talking about inside, the European state area? Well, in Europe it is. It's true, but in the United States it's not. The United States of America. The United States of America is a made-up term. And you're asking, how's a made-up term? Because some people will say that you're lying, you're treasonous, you're doing bribery, and all that, by simply saying the USA. Now they're talking about the European Security Area, or the UCSA, which is the European Canadian, which actually the S used to be a T territory area, but it became a security area because of the fact of how much food was grown here, that some people would just bring their ships in, fill their ships, not pay for any of it, and leave. That was the other problem. It's not secured for common people. The only time it's secure for common people are the people who were brought here, mainly military and some residents, to do certain things. And that's about enough of influence from that COP down there. He thinks that's going to work. He's crazy. whatever he's doing. Because you can actually feel it. He's trying to use a tactic which is not the brightest of influencing. But anyway, when you get down to it, what they call crucifixion's that of anyone who burns law, destroys law, from people who are asking. So if you ask what the laws are in this country, the UCSA or the UCTA, you have to answer correctly. If you don't know, or you're not really sure, then you got to say you're not sure, you don't know. Because the laws aren't presently in this country. Not by the standards of how they were written. And trust me, there's a lot of paperwork and vaults that aren't law. Got a lot of fan mail. But as far as the BBL, I can tell you this, and most of it just says it was a letter. It's not a book. Not even a pamphlet. So it's not factual. It's not official. My name wasn't put on it. Never put my name on a lot of documents. The guy's not going to give up, is he? I don't want to hear it. But I got a COPD down there influencing, and either someone is using what they call European law to move it away from them, which is a redirect of sorts. Not the actual term, but a COPD is about to get in trouble because it's illegal for a cop to do that, especially a non-European cop, which they claim to be under the USA now, so that is a form of treason. By dismantling, by massacration. I'm getting tired of seeing that. But anyway, getting down to the facts, not the lies. A lot of history books that come out of the Williamsport area high school are lies. Because there's not much history to learn when the guy that was sent over just totally disagreed with the history, because some say it's not bloody enough. It doesn't have enough action. It doesn't have enough violence. Well, that's why you never send an actor or a producer over to do such things. And it's either that COPD doing it, or that is that freaking guy using the COPD. But anyway, yeah, you're going to hear it in video. But anyway, if you think this happened twice, it did. That's all I'm going to say. So if history felt like it repeated itself, I told someone when I was younger that they were going after, meaning, and you can see some of the conversation that happened, was that a judge stepped way out of line by the rules and regulations of what he's claimed to be playing by. But I can also tell you that the judges in 1980 to 1970 to 1960 were non-educated people. Because that's what European law, or the notes of Europe, were. They were non-educated people. Just people who open a book, see what you did. Ooh, okay, so you assaulted someone. There is no simple assault. There is no aggravated assault. But if there was an aggravated assault, that means that someone took a lot of BS from a person that was whom aggravated them, who was also aggravated. So therefore, there would have to be two aggravated assaults. One against the person running their mouth, but not their fists or their feet. And the second one would be the person who actually punched them. Or if the person was brushing up against them, talking about the other person, or hitting the person. as far as if you noticed on Amazon or eBay, what they call a seal, a little block with a piece of rubber, got loose from China. Didn't actually get loose. As far as that seal, it's no good, because it's not a seal. As far as the crest that you call a crest, that's the crest because you said it was a crest officially the first time. It's not a crest, it's a crush. And you don't hand those out like water. But at the same time, there's another name that is better for what that is. And it's just a piece of metal formed into something. It's not really a crush or a crest. Because most families won't make anything that's stupid. Not from Europe. That's the interesting part. But anyway, to get back to the fact of what went on, someone told a judge this, which is interesting, and it actually has a lot of factual truth to it. It's not really a curse, though. It's something that happens when you defy law, and you sit down behind where the judge sits, and you put a gavel in your hand, maybe even your own seal in your hand, and you start stamping crap you don't know crap about, because the law states that every and all cases that are quote-unquote criminal or violent is the better word for it, go before the heir and not before a judge. That's what the law states, even in the books in this country. Because the law also states that all falseness of law can be destroyed willfully by a citizen. But it doesn't say citizen, it says common person. It can be destroyed by the population as long as it's false, meaning it has no factual resolve to it by actual law. Kind of like DMV. Technically, you can take a CDL manual and burn it and never get in trouble for it, because there is no law on CDL, but there is law for transportation and travel and how certain things must be. But as far as certain other things, the law is very defined on how travel is, and it has not updated. It has not gotten any new laws on gas-powered, diesel, kerosene, or any type of combustion engine. It has no law. I know this for a fact, because I've seen the laws in Europe. And most people here that claim that they are United States citizens, residents, registries, or even commonplace people, they say commonplace, but they don't say U.S., or USA, United States of America, then they are all good as far as the commonplace. But they're not if they're taking up with the United States of America. That's a treasonous person. That's a fact by law. Also, a fact by law is when you're outside of Europe, or the European countries, the desert, Asia, not Africa, that law can actually defy you. And what I mean by law defying you, in the act of this, means that you just have one large string of bad luck. And it's because the law states that people from Canada, the people from Europe, not Europe, but from the United States of America, especially with the correct name of European Canada Territory Area or Secure Area, must report back to Europe. And even the military can't stop you from doing that. A military can't stop you, a soldier can't stop you, the infantry can't stop you, and even a knight can't stop you from leaving this country. Now when you get to the border in Europe, they cannot deny you entrance. Especially, and I'm going to make this like the dumbest scenario I ever heard, but if you're a prisoner who escaped from Europe, you came to the UCSA or the UCTA, and you broke the law in Europe, and they arrest you here. They arrest you in this country. But they also see that you broke the law in Europe first. They can charge you with a crime here, but they must, by law, ship you back to Europe. That means they must deport you. But at the same time of deportation, they lose the right to convict a person. That's why they won't deport you. So with that said, how do you make an allegation stick against a person? Simple. You never charge them. You never charge them. You never accuse them. You just send the accusation with them to Europe. So what happens is the prisoner or the military fly over, they hand the paperwork of the accusation to Europe, and Europe will come over and check it out if it's checkable. If it's not and it's petty, like, oh, he got in a fist fight, no one was hurt, but their faces got a little red, they throw it out. As far as the crime in Europe, mainly, you got to serve that crime. Or not the crime, but you have to do the time required. Simple. Now, if you're murdered inside the UCSA or the UCTA, then that's going to stick when you go back to Europe. Like military. These military here are not official. They know this. They were told this in 1980. They were told to relay it to all the new military, no matter what level you are. So was the FBI, the CIA, NSA, and all the other government branches warned of this. That it carries a curse of death against them. Especially in this place, because this place has no actual justification of how to get rid of anything. And the reason I say it has no justification of how to get rid of anything is they tried to get rid of stuff here against the person that had it put on them against Europe. They couldn't do it. That person ended up dying. Seemed like it worked, but it didn't. That's why you see people in certain ways. You'll see in your thoughts, you'll see a person come out in front of you, another person to come out in front of you. But they're criminally actually getting themselves in trouble too when they do that. And that's what I'm going to say because it's kind of lengthy. Anyway, have a good night.